Welcome to the onlymotors archives, where we'll share with you our motoring experiences.
Let's see what lies in store.
Because we love cars.
This one, it kicks like a mule.
We're taking you to all the places a petrolhead loves with the help of our knowledgeable experts.
Only problem is, I've no idea what I'm supposed to be reviewing.
Whoa! What the hell's that? Meet the biggest enthusiasts in the industry.
You heard it here first. Chris Evans no longer has white Ferraris.
Don't have a single white Ferrari.
Motoring madness.
This is where all the magic happens.
Also, they're terrible at parking, so look for a car that's pretty outrageous that he's parked across 2 bays, like that.
Fun, speed, passion, all in one place. The onlymotors archive. Hello and welcome to the onlymotors archives. On today's show, we have got the Infiniti Q50, the new MG6, mini stock racer Catherine Harris, and a trip to the Cotswold Motoring Museum. But first of all, it's time to meet the Infiniti Q50 and find out if this is the Infiniti to take down the Germans.
Before we review the 2-litre T Infiniti Q50, I think it's important to outline Infiniti as a brand. Well, the Japanese company is the premium brand of Nissan, just as Lexus is to Toyota. It was launched in 1989, only coming to Europe in 2008. Production was first based in Japan and the USA. And that explains why you've probably seen loads of Infiniti cars around on any family trips to Florida you might have been on. Now to the car in question, the Q50 2-litre T. Well, Infiniti in Latin actually means being without finish. But as you can see, this Infiniti is certainly finished beautifully. The standard Q50 launched in 2013 and is designed to compete against rivals such as the Audi A4 and BMW 3 Series. But Infiniti has moved the game on, and the 4-door rear-wheel drive saloon is now fitted with a new 4-cylinder 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine. So, the Q50 2-litre T will cost around £31,755 when it goes on sale this autumn. The new petrol engine is intended to appeal to buyers a little bit like me, who prefer a bit more performance than provided by the current diesel Q50 2.2D. But also, this does come at a smaller outlay than, say, the Q50S Hybrid. Now, this 2-litre turbocharged engine produces 211 brake horsepower. That's against the 168 brake horsepower offered by the diesel. 0 to 62 miles per hour comes in 7.2 seconds, making it a full second quicker than the diesel. Of course, running costs will be significantly higher in this than in the diesel. But I guess if you're after V6s, then that might not be too much of an issue for you. This 2-litre actually delivers an average of around 44 to the gallon. That's against the diesel's 58.9 claimed MPG. But enough negativity, this car comes with a really high spec as standard. There are sparkling LED lights, for instance, on the outside, and beautifully stitched leather seats, and a lovely hide-encased steering wheel. The Japanese company has also applied scratch shield paint to the outside of this car too. What it does basically, it simply makes sure that minor scratches disappear with a small wipe of the cloth. Also, there are some beautiful chrome trimmed twin exhaust pipes at the back, and this all helps to enhance the Q50 2-litre T's sporting presence. Step inside, and these two front compartments here are separated by this beautiful centre console, and the dashboard's features are quite sort of simple really, although these two screens here can overwhelm when you look at all the different gadgetry that's on them. But I'm sure it's just a case of getting used to knowing what you need to touch when and where. It gives a real quality impression. Audio is provided by a 6-speaker system. We've also got USB and iPod connectivity. There's also voice operator control. That's really handy if you're a commuter and you just need to be keeping your eyes ahead at all times. There's dual zone climate control for that added comfort, and for practicality, the rear seats split 60-40. For even more versatility in the rear, there's a ski hatch, which allows you to reach through and adjust items, or I guess go skiing and keep your skis in there or something. Behind the wheel there's an overriding sense of luxury. In fact, the Infiniti feels more extravagant than many of the mile-munching German executive cars. This car feels slightly higher, for instance, than the German rivals that it's pitched against, for instance the Audi A4 and the Mercedes C-Class. To be honest with you, the car glides through its automatic gears seamlessly. The steering is really responsive too. You can adjust the steering sensitivity and make it either really sporty or lazy. The car feels actually really quite nimble for such a heavy, I think it's about 2 tons this thing. So the Japanese company's done well to make it feel so light. Without a doubt, I feel like I'm enveloped in opulence and I could commute in this all day without ruffling any feathers. According to tests by Factum, the Q50 has got one of the most advanced collision avoidance systems on the market. Together with its 5-star Euro NCAP rating, this makes it one of the safest cars on the road.
So the Infiniti Q50 is a credible choice of the executive saloons. Right, it's now time for another good choice in a competitive class, this time with the Suzuki Swift. One of the underrated cars in the hatchback class, but this new model features an interesting powertrain. We reviewed it to see how good it is.
Did you know that Suzuki has been around since 1909? Well no, neither did I. But over the last 100 years or so, the Japanese brand has become known for its motorbikes as much as its cars. And in 2011, Suzuki was recognised as the 10th biggest automaker by production worldwide. Suzuki has a rich heritage when it comes to making 4x4 vehicles. And in mid-2013, the Japanese car maker introduced this to the UK, the Swift 4x4. But isn't the Swift just for learners or for grannies? Well, perhaps. But with the 4x4, Suzuki doesn't expect you to be green laning this around, because most of the time the car's actually in front-wheel drive. But when the car detects wheel spin, the rear-wheel drive kicks in, making the whole car 4x4. So that means you can get across rough surfaces, sort of dirt, sand, grass, that kind of thing. The all-wheel drive system does actually add weight and it ups tailpipe emissions. However, this car is aimed at rural dwellers who just fancy a bit of extra grip when the need arises. However, for the rest of the time, you're basically driving a front-wheel drive Swift with that all-wheel drive system making it just a heavier car, and that's not great news for performance. On the upside, this is a well kitted out car. This Suzuki Swift is the range-topping SZ4 4x4, and it gets 5 doors as standard, and although the boot is tiny, there's easy access to the rear seats. Also, this car wears a very delicate body kit. So, our test car comes with keyless go. You've got a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel, you've got Bluetooth and climate control. You've also got a multi-function steering wheel which makes driving quite easy. And it's very slightly tinted windows, as well as not bad cloth seats. Altogether, not a bad cabin at all. So the Suzuki Swift 4x4 costs just over £16,000. Suzuki says this will do 51.3 to the gallon, but to be honest, I've struggled to get more than 42 out of this car. That included a motorway journey from the Midlands down to Berkshire and then driving around these rather bumpy country lanes. So, you know, that's still not bad though, 42 to the gallon. So the Swift 4x4 offers very little benefit over a standard Swift. It's less economical, it's lifeless to drive, and at the end of the day, you might as well go out and buy some winter tyres, stick them to a normal Suzuki Swift and you'll get a better car.
So that was the Infiniti Q50 and the Suzuki Swift, two alternative but competitive cars in their respective segments. It's break time now, but do come back after us as we still have Catherine Harris, Mini Stock Racer, coming up, a very small caravan and a trip to the Cotswold Motoring Museum. Welcome back to the archives. Still to come, we have got Mini Stock Racer Catherine Harris and a very small caravan. But right now, it's time to go for a guided tour of the Cotswold Motoring Museum, a wonderfully eccentric collection of cars, bikes, even toys, located in the pretty village of Bourton-on-the-Water. Here is our guided tour with museum manager.
It's me, Michael.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Great. What's your full name again?
Michael Tambini.
Ah, Italian. I knew there was something in there.
That's it.
Great. You're going to show us around the
Yes, I am.
museum?
Yeah, if you'd like to come this way.
Yeah.
So this is the Cotswold Motoring Museum. Our main room sort of gives you a nice overview of the golden age of motoring, I think, with everything from little Austin 7s through to very smart Jaguars from the 1950s.
What hits you straight away is I love that smell of old cars.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Lovely, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, we need to invest in some scratch and sniff for that, don't we?
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, you get the smell of the leather and the oil, and it just adds to the atmosphere, doesn't
Really,
it?
really does. Brilliant, fantastic.
So we pretty much go from the early days of motoring right up until the end of the 1970s, and then we've run out of space, as you'll see. But we try and just give it a flavour of what it was like for people to own cars. So we don't go into huge history about the design of the car or the engine or anything like that, but what was it like to own a car? What sort of people own cars? When they had cars, what did they do with them?
Yeah.
So, you know, this funny little thing over here is actually a replica of a Henry Ford's first vehicle.
Good grief.
And of course, the Ford motor car, it's a fantastic car for getting people on the road.
Absolutely.
It's a relatively low cost car. But this thing, from originally made in 1897,
Gosh.
it's so primitive. It's steered with a tiller.
Yeah.
This is the gear. It's just a rubber band, effectively, or leather band over some flywheels. And the brakes would be just putting your foot on here to slow it down.
Forget drum brakes or disc brakes,
It's foot brake on this one. So nice and simple. Made by Henry Ford, and he got the ball rolling for him to start doing mass manufacturing of motor vehicles, which of course is the thing that made it cheap.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Because it's almost like a boat. You're talking about a tiller.
Yeah.
It's a bit like a bicycle as well, but you can see how it all...
Yeah, no, but those two things, exactly, because these are basically, it's two bikes together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
With a frame.
So, tell me more about this particular car, because this is...
Well, these two cars together are a really nice pair, actually, because the little Austin 7 over in the corner was the car that got British people on the road. It was low-cost motoring. You get 2 adults in the front, 2 children at the back, and it was a relatively low price, about £165 back in the 1920s when it came out. This one is also an Austin 7, but it's got a very smart body put on it by Swallow Sidecars.
Okay.
And they famously became known as SS Jaguar. So this is the first Jaguar, really.
Is that Captain Mannering I see singing there?
Yes, it is. He seems to suit the Swallow very well, I think.
He does, and it's quite in keeping with the times because there's a new Dad's Army film being made, isn't there?
There is, that's right, yes.
This is a beast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? 1952 MG TD. So, lovely little sports car. The last of the series of those sports cars with the flat front. After the T series, they went to the sort of scoot down front and became more like the midget that we know quite well.
That's fantastic, that red radiator, isn't it? It just looks so sporty already.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Even at this stage in the 21st century, looking back on these cars.
Yeah.
There's something about, even now, the tax disc gone. I'm sort of looking at this tax disc.
Yes.
Think, oh, that's now consigned to history, isn't
it? Really, people pretty much ignore those, but now everyone's going to be looking on the tax list and see when it was last on the road.
This is me being an anorak now. I was listening to Chris Evans on the way down today to see you, and I'm pretty sure 1897 was the year that the first ever car dealership sprung up in the UK.
Yeah.
I'll go check that later.
Yeah, that sounds about right, and my understanding is the very first car came to Britain, arrived in Southampton off a boat, because we weren't making them here, owned by probably Lord Montague, someone like that. Didn't have any fuel in it, so they couldn't go anywhere with it because there's no petrol stations, there's no nothing.
Yeah, a small thing they'd forgotten. Fuel. Yeah, well, you take
that whole infrastructure didn't exist. So the original early stations, so they've got pumps. So this is top technology, but it's hand pumped, and basically you would wind it round or backwards and forwards depending on the pump. Fill up the reservoir, so 4 gallons. Once you've got to the amount that you want, release the cap into the car, and in will pour the petrol, and you've got your and this is top-notch technology.
It's like the Krypton factor, trying to work out how to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. And of course, imagine the time.
I know.
You know, so whenever it was quiet, a car would go out, there'd be no cars on the forecourt, the attendant would stick in a few gallons because he knows they're going to be a certain amount.
So forget self-service.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be self-serving that. Another thing you could do with cars is go on holiday. These are holiday caravans. We've got 2 of them, one there and one here.
Isn't that lovely?
1923.
Really?
You need a nice big car. You need to be a wealthy person to go on a caravan holiday in the 20s.
I'll tell you, this actually looks proper Romany gypsy already, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's where the styling would have come from.
Yeah.
But this is not a gypsy caravan, this is a holiday caravan. This is for going away for a couple of weeks or a weekend. Got leaded lights, a couple of bunks, nice little cooker on the side here. Can't remember if this is no, it's paraffin one.
Wow.
A bed's down at the end. And of course the items in here are from that period. So it's a lovely holiday time.
Yeah.
What you could do with your car.
Yeah.
You've got this new freedom.
You've made me think I should really have asked you this question a bit earlier, but I'll ask it you now. Broughton on the Water, why has it attracted this motor museum?
It's a very strange reason, I think. The majority of what you see around you was collected by one person who was obsessive about motoring history, and he collected the signs and the cars and the motorcycles over a period of probably 20 odd years, and he'd gathered loads of things together and was eventually looking for a place to put it on display. So he scoured around the country. He knew the Cotswolds quite well, heard about this mill building becoming available. Well, it was available, it was a derelict building pretty much. It was in Broughton on the Water, which attracts lots of people, so lots of tourists come to Broughton, so it was a perfect relationship.
So you've already got the footfall, haven't you?
You've got the footfall outside, you've just got to get them in. So he opened this up in 1978, and then when he retired, the Civil Service Motoring Association bought it from him to keep it all together as one collection, because they felt as members that it would be such a shame for this to be broken up. It reflects their own history, which dates back to the 20s as well.
And what was the name of this gentleman that started it all?
Mike Kavanagh.
Oh, okay. What a lovely thing then, that all it takes is one person to have a passion, and it sparks this interest. Gosh, this is something that Cruella de Vil could be seen in.
Yeah.
Parallel parking this important on the water.
Such a huge beast, isn't it?
It is. I can imagine lots of
steering would have been so heavy and hard work.
Yeah.
Built in the 1950s, designed in the 1940s, and basically what happened, it may have even been an earlier design than that, but the Second World War really held up design for us in Britain, as you can imagine, because all the concentration was elsewhere. So after the war, they just took the old designs off the shelf and built those. So this was built in the 50s, using their old technology, while in their mind they were thinking about their new car,
right,
which is that one over there.
Ah, now some
really lovely XJ.
That's really slick.
Yeah.
As we would say today, slippery.
Yes.
Aerodynamic style.
Yes, it is, isn't it? And it looks fantastic. It's got a fantastic engine, which went in the E-Type eventually. Once they were given time to catch up again, catch up with, the technology had changed, but they didn't have time to change it. So this suddenly looks really old-fashioned, doesn't it? So Austin Taxi.
Oh, it's a taxi.
Yeah.
That's better than the black cabs is today. It's got a bit more character, hasn't it?
It's got real character. Interestingly, at the back, it's got the drop-down seats that we still have in modern.
Oh, really?
Ones that bounce up.
Yeah, so you can sit opposite each other and things like that.
Yeah.
And I can recognise the figure behind that one.
I think, Sid James is perfect taxi driver, isn't he? It strikes me, though, as they're not being very friendly to the taxi driver. There's no doors on this side.
No.
The window, it's very drafty on the other side. The cab's fine for the customers, so they're nice and warm. But
so it would have been open like this?
That's open, yeah. That's
freezing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And this is a sporty number, isn't it?
Really special, that one. That is a BMW.
Wow.
Believe it or not, pre-war.
Pre-war?
So 1938. It's a 327. And it's so slick and so advanced.
That is beautiful, isn't it?
Really very nice car.
They've still got a massive, obviously a huge name for themselves, haven't they, in the prestige market?
Yeah.
So this would have been prestigious by the look of it then, wouldn't it?
So that was part one of our visit to the Cotswold Motoring Museum, where some very interesting cars are being held. Time for a break, but do come back afterwards for part two as we go back to the Cotswold Motoring Museum for more. And we also have Catherine Harris, Mini Stock Racer coming, and the very small caravan. Welcome back to the archives. Now, if you want a fun day out at a motor centre, you can go to Bewley or the Heritage Motor Centre for a great day. But there are some hidden gems spread around the country, and before the break we visited one of them, the Cotswold Motor Museum. Here is part two of our visit to the museum in Bourton-on-the-Water.
Now, I've lived in Birmingham.
Yes, so you know Brum.
I know Brum. In fact, I've seen that being filmed. Brum, now that's a famous little tiny car.
Yeah.
What's that doing here then?
So Brum was made by Ragdoll, the people who made
Ragdoll Productions.
Ragdoll Productions.
Was it Rosie and Jim?
And Rosie and Jim they made as well. But from 1990 until about 2002 or 3, they were making the Brum series, which is for preschool children, short programs, I think about 5-10 minutes long. But Brum lived here in the museum, so they started every program here, and you can see on that little bit of film at the back, he drives out through past these very cars, out through the door, over the bridge. When he got to the other side of the bridge, he was in Birmingham, a big town.
That was pretty
had his
quick.
Adventure. And he started back into the game when no one was looking, because he wasn't supposed to leave. You can see the film there.
That's an impressive car. What sort of car was it based on, do you know?
Yeah, pretty much the Austin range.
Yeah.
So like the Austin 7, you can see the taxi there, you can see the familiarity with it, there's that range. Of course, typically, as soon as people realise that you can drive around in a car and go fast, you could suddenly have fun with cars. You could get on a motorcycle and go cross country, and you could race each other across muddy fields.
This is more my thing. Bit of rallying.
Bit of rallying.
That's how it started, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? You know.
That looks a beast.
This is raced by one of the CSMA chairmen, actually, who's pictured there driving the car. And,
it has actually been raced, has it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, the little bit of film there shows motorcycle football. So this is a bike that was used for that. People playing football on motorcycles.
That was what, 1950s, isn't it?
1950s, yeah. Eventually, purpose-built garages were built up. So this is based on a garage that was in Bolton-on-the-Water, and it opened in about 1920s.
Okay.
And he opened as a cycle shop, then started repairing cars. He was an engineer anyway, continued until he was an old man. He stopped work in the 80s, died 2 weeks later.
Good grief.
So, you know, he spent his whole life running a garage in Bolton-on-the-Water.
Yeah.
When he did eventually die, lots of his stuff came over here. So we've got things from his garage on display in here. In fact, this car used to be one of the cars he repaired.
That's lovely,
isn't it?
Well, it's his legacy living. It's brilliant.
And you can see how these adapted, you know, his knowledge to create what would have been a modern garage at the time, but still not modern garage in the way that we know them. So this sort of takes our story up to the end of the Second World War. This is typical of a garage that you might find before then. Then after the war, things start to change.
Yeah.
And you start getting purpose-built garages, and the whole sort of look becomes much more modern.
It does, doesn't it? So this is something we'd recognise already with the
you start recognising
advertising and
the cars become more familiar and all much more affordable.
Oh, and of course, straight away we recognise the Mini Clubman there.
Mini Clubman, yeah. So the caravan's changed now. This has become really fairly sort of affordable, low-cost caravanning.
Yeah.
Those other ones we saw were high-cost caravan.
Right.
Now this is designed to be pulled along by a Fiesta.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is 1978 Sprite Aerial.
Yeah.
And of course the Fiesta came out 75, 76, didn't it?
So designed to be pulled by a little car, cheap holidaying. What I think's happened is that we're going back to what they had before. So if you go to a campsite now, the caravans are so big and plush, and then there's this huge 4x4 in front that pulls it along. And you think, hey, it's suddenly become expensive. It's not a little Fiesta time.
No.
This is gone.
It's a different league almost, isn't it? The whole thing.
Yeah.
Ah, the Zephyr.
Temporary exhibitions in here, so we change this quite often, but we try and pick up on the 60s and 70s quite often. This exhibition is based around 1964. This car was made in 1964. It's our car. We thought, well, what else was going on in 1964? So all around us are clues to what was going on.
50 years ago.
50 years ago. So Radio Caroline started.
Right.
Stuff off the ship.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. It was been lent to us by the Caroline people. The pictures around the wall are from people who were first Top of the Pops, the Beatles making it huge in America, the Rolling Stones performing on the first Top of the Pops, film stars like Michael Caine and Mick Jagger there from Rolling Stones, Marianne Faithfull in Top Corner. The glamour of that time, and
McCartney and what have you.
McCartney from the Beatles. So what you've got is a youth culture emerging, maybe for the first time properly. You know, in the 50s you had the Teddy Boys and a bit of that, but these people in 1964 are the first group of people that have come of age since the war. They are the baby boomers who are now 18 or 19 years old, and they can vote for the first time as an election in 1964.
Well, I mean, this era is hugely influential because half of those people on that wall are still influential now.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Michael Caine, Mick Jagger, they're names that most people still know.
No, absolutely, that's absolutely right. The artwork on the back wall, you can see through the Union flag. Swinging London and Britain was just so fashionable.
Carnaby Street.
60s. Everyone was looking to London. In the background there, though, you've got the Z cars. So of course these cars were used in the famous program.
Massively successful. I can't remember if it was. I think it pretty much was. I think a lot of it was shot without windscreens.
Oh right, okay.
Because of the reflections, they can actually.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah, of course.
Don't worry about the reflection. You can actually see these guys. Acting away. There's the Hillman Imp there. I think I seem to recall.
Yeah, nice. Again, low-cost motoring. You know, is a competitor with the Mini.
It was.
It's got lovely styling, hasn't it?
It really has.
It did have a problem with engines. People complained about them. You know, it's a shame they couldn't resolve those problems really, because the reputation went downhill slightly because of that.
Well, there were neighbours used to take me as a little 5-year-old around in this. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Little blue Hillman Imp.
Lovely.
Now look at the paintwork on this. I love it. That colour. Is that like a Volvo?
This is the Volvo P1800.
A lovely car.
Which is a really lovely car. The saloon version was used in the Saint by Roger Moore.
Good old Roger Moore. Still with us.
Yeah, still with us.
Well, he thinks he is. This is a great car.
It's a really nice
in some ways, sexier than the Volvos of today.
They made a really nice car here. This is unusual because it's the estate version, but the saloon version is really sporty and nice looking.
This would have been what, early 70s? Do you say late 60s?
Yeah, this one's 72.
72. There you go.
So it would have been made, started in the 60s.
Yeah,
this car.
that's great.
The last part of our exhibition's a toy exhibition, mainly related to transport toys. So you've got everything from boats, of course cars,
Brilliant,
little aeroplanes, sledges, trains, all those things that go. Kids love things that go, don't they?
Oh, they do.
Especially if they can get in them and make them go. So little pedal cars are really popular.
The little prams, the little girls.
Yeah, lovely. This is a collection that was put together by one gentleman. And he started just collecting Fords. He loved Ford cars and he thought, well, I'm going to try and collect every single Ford that was ever made. And of course, there isn't a model of every single Ford that's ever made. So he made his own. So he's trying to get, if he couldn't buy a model of it, he made the model of it, which is fantastic.
Even got the motorcade of President Kennedy.
Which is the Lincoln, the Ford Lincoln. And the final room that we have is dedicated to CSMA, who own the museum, who are still involved in all sorts of motor-related things. So they do rallies and karting. They support the Bloodhound project.
Yes, we've been. Only Motors has been down to that. And just remind us what CMSA stands or CSMA stands for.
So it's the Civil Service Motoring Association. It's been going since the 1920s, 1923. It's a huge club. It's aimed at civil servants or people who are in those sorts of trades. So it's not necessarily that well known outside of that circle, but we've got around 280,000 members. So it's a huge club.
But buying this place presumably is a calculated risk, but with, as you say, all the tourists coming to Bourton on the Water, you are guaranteed footfall, aren't you?
That's right. And it's been here for a long time, so it's been here for 30 odd years, 35 years. People know it really well. We get around 60,000 visitors a year, so that's really good, and we just want to keep, people keep coming in the door.
Well, long may that continue, Michael. Thank you very much indeed for the tour.
Thanks,
Thank you.
That's okay.
So there you have a great mix of cars, props, toys, bikes and memorabilia all in one place, the Cotswold Motoring Museum in Bourton on the Water. Time for one final break now, but do come back afterwards as we have Catherine Harris, the mini stock racer, and the very small Pino caravan. Welcome back to the final part of the archives. Now the theme for this quarter is small, as we have 12-year-old mini stock racer Catherine Harris coming up. But before that, we're going to meet a very small caravan, the Pino caravan in fact. Probably the smallest caravan available on the market right now.
Hi, I'm Gordon Petrie and I'm Managing Director of Pino Caravans UK. The reason why we started importing Pino Caravans was because there's a definite need in the marketplace for a caravan that's lightweight, well designed, compact and waterproof. This caravan's made of fiberglass laminate and ply, and is actually built by yacht building technology, which means that it's going to be a waterproof caravan, very lightweight. The range is handcrafted, built to order. You can have any colour you want, any fabric you want, and we can move the inside around. Some are used for offices, some are used for camping. There's a wide range of uses for the Pino Caravans. No, I've been caravanning since the age of 4 in leaky caravans all over the country, and the main driving force behind looking at these caravans was to get a caravan that didn't leak. It was light enough to tow behind a small car. This one can actually be towed by a smart car, and at the time when we were looking, we just had a small car, so this was absolutely ideal. We now obviously have a bigger range of caravans. There's a 3-berth, a 4-berth, but this one is the most popular, the 2-berth. The design of Pino Caravans is basically a pivotal change in caravan design. There are no caravans on the market that is lightweight, watertight. The 2-berth version is this one behind me. We have a 3-berth version, which is bigger. One of the key features of the larger caravans is that they all have a fixed bed on the front of the caravan. And the reason for that is so that we don't have to have a window in the front, because a window in the front of a caravan is a very weak point and prone to damage, water leakage. With no window in the front, it means it's more aerodynamic for the low drag coefficient. The 4-berth caravan is really just the same design but much larger. And one of the things about Pino Caravans is the weight. They range from this one at 300 kilos to the heaviest at 1,095 kilos, which is a 4-berth with an L-shaped kitchen and ensuite bathroom. The internal height of this caravan is 5'6", which is ideal if you're 5'6", obviously. But mainly in this caravan you would sit and eat dinner, or you would actually sleep in the caravan. The caravan's got a 6'8" long double bed, and it's normal double bed width. Because the caravan's lightweight, it's got a couple of advantages. One being fuel consumption. On a normal family saloon car, it would only increase the consumption by about 2 miles per gallon on the small model. And one of the other advantages is the new driving licence states that you have to sit a test to tow a caravan over 750 kilos. So this one being under 300 kilos and the 3-berth being under 700 kilos means you can actually tow that with having just passed your test. You don't have to sit a special test for it. The over 70s have to sit a test as well now if to be able to tow a caravan over 750 kilos. So they're still able to tow the 300 kilo Pi and the 695 kilo 3-berth caravan that we produce, which means that they can still caravan well into however long they last. Because the caravan has been designed by yacht builders, the interior is built completely in poplar ply, which means it's very lightweight, water resistant and very strong. And the caravans, the whole range, the 2-berth, 3-berth and the 4-berth, every piece of space is maximised. This one especially. This caravan being such a small caravan, it was important to fit as much in as we possibly could, but maintain the right weight. So what we did was we've made a table that turns into a bed. We've got the sink and the stove close together on one side of the caravan, which is a huge advantage. It means you can actually cook bacon and eggs whilst you lie in bed in the morning. It's very handy, and wash the dishes afterwards. And the cushions within the caravan are memory foam type material, so that they're firm but comfortable to sleep on. The floor in the caravan is floor covering in the caravan is waterproof, so that if you're at a festival, you've got muddy boots, wet jackets, etc. It doesn't run into the caravan. It actually just wipes straight back off against us. Wipe clean interior, vinyl lined. All the interior surfaces are vinyl lined. One of the important things we wanted to do with this caravan was to test and try it. So it's actually covered about 7,000 miles in the last 4 months. Just been tested in all sorts of terrains. It's gone off-grid with a generator and a solar panel. The front of this one can be fitted with a solar panel that's a roll-on solar panel, so it's just fixed permanently, which is good. So you can go off-grid. You don't have to stay in a campsite because it does have a porta potty on board as well. The construction of caravan is important because it's actually designed with a laminate fiberglass coat on poplar ply, but it is also very heavily insulated, which means that you can use it in a very, very hot country because it remains cool inside, or you can use it in a very, very cold country like Scotland, where it's freezing in the winter, so you can actually go snowboarding in the winter and water skiing in the summer. The idea is it's an all year round caravan, which is quite unique.
So that was the very small Pino caravan. Right, not many of us race at the age of 12, let alone race in a contact racing series. Geez, when I was 12, I was racing on the original Xbox. But anyway, I leave you with our final feature, 12-year-old mini stock racer, Catherine Harris.
You actually drive this thing in a what?
In a oval track.
A oval track. What, just for fun?
Yeah, and it's competition.
So you're 12 and you drive, this is classed as a stock car, yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't stock car racing where they actually ram into you and try and knock you off the road?
Yes, it's contact.
You're 12? Is your dad mental? What's going on?
We have bumpers and it's very safe.
Oh, okay, right. Well, how did you start this? Because when I was 12, all I was doing was looking at my Star Wars figures and playing with the Millennium Falcon, so...
Well, when I was really little, I've always been helping my brother and eventually I got into a Mini.
Right. What age was that?
10.
So you just got into a Mini at the age of 10? And how did you learn to drive? Because I had a 6'5" bald man in a Mini Metro and basically neither of us fit, so he used to teach me really quickly. So how did you learn?
Well, I jumped into a car and then my brother just taught me all the pedals and the gears, and then eventually I got to go.
And in your sport, are you any good?
Yeah, I got up to red top, which is the second best in the sport.
Who's the first best?
Superstar.
Right. Are they better than you or not at the moment?
At the moment,
But you'll beat them in the end?
Yeah, hopefully.
So you apparently can drive stuff and whatever, so I'm here. Can you show me how, your skills?
Yep, we can give it a go.
And also, the fact that you're 12, I have to ask this question. Who's your favourite member of One Direction?
Probably Harry.
Yeah, I'd go with Harry as well. All right, then let's do it. You're never going to get a family of 4 in there.
No, it's only one seater.
Why is it only one seat?
Because we only race with one person in it at a time.
Oh, okay. So I can't get a lift anywhere then?
No.